Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your mid-January reading. I didn't feel so well. I didn't want to tell anybody. It's fine. I'm fine now. Okay. So, anyway, it doesn't begin until today. It's a Mercury retrograde kind of thing. Oh, okay. Let's see. That was fast. 10 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. We're off to a really good start here. Okay, so there are a couple of things that you may not want to talk about, and they keep coming up, and one of them is about this dreaded future. Now, depending on how old you are, you're either wondering, is this 10 of Pentacles right for me? Or you're thinking, is there even going to be time for the 10 of Pentacles? Because things seem a bit end-timey. But you are open. Whether you want to admit it or not right now, you are open to the idea of something meaningful. But there is a problem. There is also a Venus retrograde and, as of today, a Mercury retrograde, and you have Mars in your sign. So what that means is you have a lot of drive, you want to get a lot done, and yet nothing makes sense and nobody understands you. It's kind of perfect. It's exactly the position you need to put a Sagittarius in for them to take a really big risk. I say this while I'm internally laughing as one of my closest Sag friends just sent me a gorgeous photo of herself without her long black hair, which had been replaced with a fuchsia bob. Yeah, you guys, when you don't know what's going on, you like to not know what's going on faster. You want to get even more lost if you're lost. And so the Fool, and then the 10 of Cups. So look here. Let's review. You're not sure, but you are sure. It keeps coming up. If you keep saying you're not sure, people keep bringing it up. But if you're being pretty honest with yourself these days, then yeah, you know, the 10 of Pentacles is coming up. And whether you are admitting to it or not, you're open to the idea. But there's nothing to be done about it. There's nowhere to go with that idea. There's no solutions. You can't really talk to anyone about it. What I suggest you do, because you are very much in this energy right now, and I don't think that any of this would get through until the retrograde, because now you're really, really, really confused. That'll make sense in a second. When you're here, it's really important to rely on your friends that you don't have to communicate with to get your point across. People who can essentially read your mind or read your energy. You need to lean on those people right now, because your words make no sense and their words make no sense to you. And yes, that's really annoying, especially when Mars wants you to go, 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 but you're like, go where? This is not a map. This is hell. Especially because you guys only have, you know, kind of one hand, but not really. Like, the thing that I always try to tell you guys, and I try to tell you in terms of being busy or too busy or running around in circles, or when you get aggressive and then you get real aggressive, it's very hard to do things when both your hands are occupied. Let me do that again. It's very hard to do things when both your hands are occupied. Okay, so it's important for you to rely on people who don't have anything in their hands, who know what you're going through without you explaining it and basically ruining it, because anything you try to say just ends up being the opposite of what's actually going on. It's really annoying. But if you use that as something to motivate yourself and actually push yourself into situations where you know even less, it's kind of like you're so adaptable, right? So you feel this energy of the unknown. And it's so interesting how every sign is reacting differently to it. So certain signs are so fixed and so stubborn that they have to they have to really steady themselves right now, or else they're going to lose their minds. Like, they have to do things that are like very routine based and very comforting and make them feel, secure and soft and safe. And then and then there are people that And then there are people who behave like this. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what other people are feeling. They don't know what I'm feeling. It seems like utter chaos. Why don't we do something even more chaotic? Why don't we have some fun with it? Absolutely. And what I was going to say when I was saying let's review. You want this thing, but you don't want to really admit it, but you are open to it. And, you know, your energy is very honest. You may not know how to express it, and maybe wait for it. Maybe that's a good thing, because you can't mess it up. The words that you need to make this work are not available to you. And maybe because you're not the one who's supposed to make it work. Maybe what you're supposed to do is just make it fun and interesting for yourself. Maybe you're supposed to make yourself work. And then you end up getting the thing anyway, but you get a better version. Because, yeah, maybe there's some people who would pick the 10 of Pentacles over the 10 of Cups. But I don't know, would you? I guess that's a question you can all ask yourselves, you know. Some of you are Vedic Scorpios. You're going to go for the 10 of Cups, for sure. But then, the 10 of Pentacles has its own appeal. And somewhere between these two is the conversation that you're having with yourself. Perhaps not the conversation you're having with other people, but definitely with yourself. There is this, you know, what do we want to do long term? Is it about love? Is it about money? Is it about security? Is it about safety? Is it about growing your own food? Is it, you know, are you a survivalist now? Are you an anarchist now? Are you gonna live every moment as if it's your last now? Because I know a lot of you are there. What is your proverbial bright pink bob? I wonder. But I'm excited because whatever it's gonna be dope. And it's gonna be really exciting, and it's probably going to be super fashionable and trendy, and you know, you have a way of taking anything that you feel and making it into some sort of like artistic expression or something intellectual. You intellectualize things in a way that's it's fascinating, and it's beautiful. There's a very high attraction quotient with Sagittarians, and it's across the board, which I find very comforting. Some signs, the people who identify as men and the people who identify as women, they're so different. But with Sagittarians, it's like across the board. You know, you're going to meet someone who is attractive and has shiny eyes and laughs and knows a lot and wants to go have fun, and you can take them anywhere and they're not going to embarrass you. Like they're just things, you know, and they all kind of have this commonality of having a very high attraction quotient. And I think right now in Capricorn season, but also as we go into Aquarius season, I think this really is adding a lot of structure. If we start now talking about money, there's some structure that's being added to your financial life, and it's money that's kind of been, you know, it's not even that I could say that it's stuck. I feel like so much there's so many delays because of Venus retrograde that until the 29th there isn't really anything. Of course you can try to talk about money, but more than there even being delays, the thing that I mean is that I think that you work so much more than you earn, and that's a conversation we've been having for 6 months, so we can continue to have it. Then I have written here, look 10 times before you leap, and that makes sense with the Knight of Wands and the Capricorn card as well. You know, you want to be really, really, really careful before you get into a deal with the devil. Be really careful. Anything you have to sign, anything that's, you know, you just want to read it and then reread it and then reread it and then have your psychic friends read it. If you don't love what you do anymore, what's holding you back? Umber has written down. Pride or fear? Now tell me something, and this might upset a lot of you because you are a proud sort. Tell me, what's the difference between pride and fear? Why does pride cometh before the fall? I mean, if pride was a good thing, why wouldn't it cometh before the coronation? Why does it cometh before the fall? Why does God abhor pride? Why is the most hated why is it the most, why is arrogance the most hated sin, you know? I think you have to ask yourself now if this obvious success, okay? You deserve this. Let's take that for granted. You deserve this. What's keeping you in a situation, and especially because Mars is in your sign right now. Wow, Mars just keeps saying, you're going to regret this. You're going to regret it. If you don't do it now, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. It's just all the time, all the time, all the time in your ear. And I get it because I'm very Mars ruled, and I get it, and I'm like that. I'm like that all the time. I'm like that every day. Every day. As soon as I start to regret, like, as soon as I start to feel like maybe I shouldn't do something and that I might regret it, I just do it. I can't with this. I can't. Maybe because I'm still a little bit sick, you can like hear it or like you can see it and how I just can't. I can't with it. Like if it's going to be this, then I may as well have just drank all these cups. Let me tell you. No. Now you're getting me heated. See? Look it. Mars is telling you. I'm using Mars as a pointer. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence. What is the point of later sitting and longingly looking at these cups when the Ace of Cups is being offered to you right in your face? What is the point of sitting and looking at these cups longingly later? See, this is what burns my biscuits, let me tell you. If you aren't the type of person who can seize these cups, and this is turning into a really personal conversation because Sagittarians are not used to being spoken to like this, especially about being free and adventurous and fun-loving. So I know a lot of you are side-eyeing the screen right now. Like, I know you're not talking to me like that. Yes, I am. Just listen. If you are not the type to grab these cups when they were in front of you, because obviously right now you're not the type. If you are not the type to grab these cups when they're in front of you, then please don't be the type that sits and thinks about them later. This is the most useless energy. You can't grab the cup in front of you. You wouldn't have grabbed those cups if they were in front of you. You didn't grab them when they were in front of you, just like you're not grabbing this one. And that's Mars. That's what Mars is doing in your head for the next, I don't know, like 25 days. This is it. And you have to turn that dialogue into something positive for yourself and use it to motivate yourself. Because listen, comparatively, having to listen to that, if this is what you get in return, I'll take it. Because something needs to motivate you, and maybe the way to get to you is to make you understand that your pride is a weakness. Your pride is just fear. And I know you hate fear, and I know you hate being called a coward, and I'm not calling you a coward. I'm just saying perhaps you're confused. I swear to God, I have it written here in like upside down exclamation point, and then like all of a sudden I can write in Spanish. They're the same thing. What's holding you back? Pride or fear? They're the same thing. Upside down exclamation point. Just, you know. If you don't know if it's pride or fear, and you're like, okay, I get your point, but I have no idea. Which one is it? Umber, tell me. I don't know. If you don't know, start looking around. Look in your everyday life. Where are the clues? Are you more scared? Or are you being arrogant? What's that thing you really want to do? Why aren't you doing it? What's that work, money, job related thing that you really want to say, or that, you know, that law you want to lay down? Why aren't you doing it? What's that really big change? Organize, start searching. Now, you've got Mars until the 24th, so I guess not that much longer. But what happens through this process that we were just narrating is that there is a much deeper effect. You go through all that, and in the end, what this energy does to you is it deepens your faith, which is beautiful, because you begin to understand that the things that are sent to you in the moments that they are sent to you by the divine for a reason, and they're meant for you to take them up as they are sent to you. They are, for lack of a better term, time sensitive. So what Mars will teach you is how to be in the now, how to get out of this Four of Cups energy, and perhaps has already been teaching you, and perhaps that has been kicking your ass. That's okay. Some things you need to go through alone. All it does is deepen your character, and you're smart enough to do it too. Now, at the very end of the month, there might be some expenses that make you think, gee, I'm glad I invested that money, or gee, I'm glad I didn't buy that thing. They're usually health related, especially because of everything that's going on astrologically, probably health related, but it's nothing too major. And good news is whatever inflammation issue is still going on starts to clear up even more. I know we've already had a little bit of a clear up, but it gets even better, inshallah. So that's really good. If you need to get some tests, or if you're worried about your health in any way, please get the tests. Really, really important. So then I have something written in like the most chicken scratch and the most profound things always, I think it's when I'm falling asleep, that I'm like half asleep and I write things that later are very hard to decipher, but they always end up being like the best ones. So what I have written here is, you know that person who never lets you sell out, ask their advice. You know somebody who never sugarcoats what they say to you. You know that they don't even really care about your feelings when it comes to telling you the truth. You need to speak to them, because it's very difficult to navigate with how hazy everything is. And your readings are always just like you. They're very direct, they're very precise, and there's no all the fat is trimmed away. It's very clear messages. So right off the bat, it's like, yeah, I'm thinking about a lot of important stuff, but like if this was a conversation to me, this is a conversation with a Sagittarius, which is why I think the videos sound and feel like a conversation with you, because the cards are you, right? So to me, this conversation sounds like, yeah, I'm really, kind of contemplating some really, really important stuff, but I can't see straight. And I wish I could contemplate it and actually come to some solutions, but all I end up doing is running in circles. So I'm drowning myself in work because I can't make any effective changes in my personal life right now, even though I'd really love to and I have the energy. But for some reason, I can't think straight. So what I've decided to do, instead of trying to make sense of the world around me, I've decided that I'm going to confuse everybody around me by doing some, really cool thing. I'm going to take a total left turn from everything that everybody knows about me and do this other thing. And it's going to be awesome. And if we're all going to be confused, then why shouldn't I join in the fun? So funnily enough, when I did that, all of a sudden, boom, I got the thing I wanted. Haha, Umbra, isn't that funny? I know that's what I always say when I call you, but oops, it happened again. Oops, I did it again, said the Sagittarius. But, at the same time, I'm like kind of worried about money, not because I'm worried, but I'm also worried, but also where's my money and why is it taking so long? And also, yeah, you're right, I should do that other thing and I have the ambition to do it, but, what if I'm not like a total success and everybody doesn't love me on the first try? What will I do? But also, Mars is making it really difficult not to do it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to dominate anyway, so... Gee, this was a fun conversation. Thanks for the advice about money. Loves yous. I love you. Let's look at these cards. Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to the second part of your reading. For a lot of you, that Ten of Cups is also someone kind of wanting things to be more. And maybe they're expressing it in a way that you're thinking the opposite. And it's very possible that people are trying to speak the same language as you, and you are very much trying to speak the same language as them, and yet no one is understanding each other. The worst thing you can do right now is take that out on other people. That first row, that's all you. That's you going through the different stages of understanding that you don't understand right now. And then finding a healthy, adventurous channel out of it, which you always do. Now again, if we look at this in terms of money, because we don't really want to apply that emotion that we're having in the first row. We don't want to apply that to our professional life. That confusion is really, it's localized to your emotional life and to romance. But that second row, well, that's all about Mars. It's about money. It's about promotion and work to earn ratio. Or as Ashley Judd calls it in Heat, risk versus reward, baby. I think I think that's exactly right. Risk versus reward. The funny thing is, I think you're pretty sure that you will succeed. So it's not really even that much of a risk. Then what is it? Now, there are some of you who say, yeah, well, I've tried this before. It doesn't end well. Yeah, you've tried it before, and so has every other really successful person who's also failed multiple double-digit times before succeeding. All right? In the case of somebody, I'm going to sound like Tony Robbins now, but in the case of somebody like Colonel Sanders, thousands of times trying and getting rejected, trying and failing. If you allow inspiration and work and business and the acquisition of wealth to become about emotion and pride, you've already lost. There is no such thing as failure, I don't think, when it comes to money or business. There are valuable lessons and stepping stones that you can use to get to the next victory. Every failure is a stepping stone to the next victory, though. And that's a change that comes over you as Mars works on you. But don't jump at anything. You want to. It will make you want to. Just hang tight. Especially for the next 20 days. Now, there are some of you who are going, damn it, I should have invested in this or should have invested in that. You have time. You have time, it'll all come back around. You can do it then. Don't beat yourself up too bad about it, but just understand again, this is about risk and reward. Keeping one foot in the future, as you most certainly like to do, requires that you are vigilant about keeping out of the Four of Cups energy. It requires the understanding that you can either be in the past, stuck, inert, or you can be actively growing wealthier in the present. Many, many choices. So many different ways you could go. And so few doors that actually open. I don't know what's going on with me. But every door that will open will be one where you have had to be brave. The second you step outside your comfort zone in any way, success. The things you want answers for, the answers aren't there, leave them. Wait a few weeks. You've done as much overthinking. I mean, listen, if I had told you at the beginning of the month you're going to have these things that you want to figure out and you're not going to be able to figure them out, you wouldn't have believed me. You would have spent 2 weeks trying to figure it out. You would have been really frustrated, and then you would have been like, oh my God, she was right. I couldn't figure it out. Now you've done all that. You did it. Nobody put it in your head. You've just been running around in circles trying to figure shit out. You can't figure it out. You can't make other people understand you. Can't make you understand them. It's just not working. So now, when I tell you this is what you've been doing for 2 weeks, you're like, oh my God, yeah. Now welcome to the important stuff. It's Mercury retrograde. Get your shit together. Love you. I'll see you in the extended. Personal readings. Live one-on-one readings for Lunar New Year, February 1st. The link is below. And also this beautiful ring called the World Ring. And also Couture Nails in New York City. Thank you, Couture Nails. That's not an ad.